jihad or an act of pure Islam, we're told Islam is a religion of peace. It's getting pretty tiring now. So anyone who's educated on Islam, on Muhammad, they know full well it's a violent fascist ideology that promotes war against non-Muslims, that promotes slavery of non-Muslims, and promotes rape of non-Muslims.
Muslims are not making this country unsafe. Muslims are wonderful and kind and dignified and compassionate and generous, and they are the pillars of so many communities.
Right now, the world is shocked by what's happening in England. It all started with fake news on social media. British activists like Tommy Robinson claim that Muslims are the reason for all their problems. Fortunately, British citizens are having none of it. They have denied his claims and are annoyed by his actions as they know the truth.
That's what we're seeing. It's been coordinated by a man who's just fled England, a man who can't even be here because he's a criminal. And
the majority of people in Britain are concerned with the Islamification of the country. The majority of people are concerned with the effects literal interpretations of Islam is having.
The truth is that Islam teaches kindness, compassion, and generosity. And this woman's story proves it. With tears in her eyes, she shares her personal experiences with Muslims.
When I was on the street on drugs and borderline naked, a Muslim man found me. This Muslim man picked me up off the floor, carried me to his wife. His wife bathed me, dressed me, fed me, loved me, and took me somewhere that I could be safe.
They showered her love and care, taking her to a safe place to start a new life. Her son.
That's true Islam. That's exactly what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba would do and did for people. Subhanallah.
Her son attends a Muslim nursery where the staff are like a second family to him. They go above and beyond to ensure his well-being and show genuine concern for his safety.
My son goes through...
I want to say, like, the amount of effort it takes to see somebody in the street and to take them into your home and to look after them like that, subhanallah. Like, may these Muslims be rewarded with Jannah al-Firdaus, because that is Islamic character to the T. That is what we're taught over and over and over again in our religion. And it's not easy, but subhanallah, they did it, and it's so beautiful.
Nursery, all of the staff are Muslim. Those women would lay down their life to protect my son. They love him like their own. When he is not well or he's poorly, he is absent, they will ring me throughout the day to check in and just say, oh, how's Ollie today? Is he doing okay? Are you doing okay?
When she lost her baby, the nursery staff held her hand, stroked her hair, and cried with her. They offered comfort and support in her darkest hour.
When I lost my baby, those women held my hand, stroked my hair, and cried with me on the middle of that nursery floor when I couldn't hold it together anymore.
But that's not all. A Muslim taxi driver helped her when she couldn't feed her kid. He drove her home, ensuring her safety without asking for anything in return.
When I couldn't feed my child, and I broke down to a taxi driver because I realised I didn't have the fare because I was late to his nursery, and realised I didn't have the fare, not only did he take me in his taxi, the very next day, his wife and himself came at the pickup time, waited opposite the road, and presented me with bags of food and clothes and toys, and drove me all the way home with said clothes and food and toys for my son.
We learn a valuable lesson from this incident. When we help those in need, show love and care to those around us, and stand up for what's right, we change the narrative about our religion. We show the world that our faith is about peace, love, and kindness.
I mean, how did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spread the religion so widely at that time? You know, he was it was all to do with the character at a time where the Quraysh, or the people of wealth, were at the top and they had everything, and there were the poor people and the widowers and the orphans. They had nothing. They literally were treated like nothing. Slaves were treated like nothing. And Islam come along and said, no, these people deserve to be treated kindly. Like, Islam came to look after those people. We are taught that these people are so precious in the eyes of Muslims. These poor people are so precious in our eyes because these are the people that we're told in the Quran will be getting Jannah. Like, the poor people are more likely to go to Jannah than us, the people of wealth. And if you have wealth, then yes, of course you can go to Jannah, of course. But it's that test. And a lot of the Quraysh, they didn't take Islam seriously because the amount of poor people, the amount of slaves that were converting, they were like, why would we convert to a religion that's full of slaves, that's full of poor people? Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he looked after the orphan, he looked after the poor people, he looked after. And the treatment that these Muslims are giving this woman, mashallah, it is exactly our religion. And subhanallah, there are so many people that are struggling in this world to that extent, and even more than that, on a daily basis in lots of different countries, millions, maybe even billions of people that are struggling like that. And we live in a time that's just all about distraction. Billion-dollar corporations spend all their money just trying to distract us. But once we actually stop and we look, we realize there are so many people that are just screaming for help. And if we're able to stop our busy lives and look towards those people, we can earn so many good deeds because they're there. She didn't ask for help. The taxi driver helped her. He saw that she needed help. That's what we're supposed to do as Muslims. That's why we're taught not to beg. Because we're supposed to see people's hardships and we're supposed to help them. People are not supposed to be begging on the streets. They're supposed to be in a situation where we are awake enough that we see their hardship and we reach out a hand and say, let's help. Let's help you. I will help you. Subhanallah.
A Muslim nurse showed her kindness and compassion.
When I was in hospital, the kindest nurse I had was a Muslim nurse. And when I injured myself severely, so severely that I required serious immediate hospital attention, she picked me up and ran me to the A&E herself.
Oh my God.
The way the hospital is designed, it's not like it's miles, but it's besides the point. And she stayed beyond her shift for 16 hours to hold my hand because I didn't trust anyone else in that ward. And she stayed with me despite nearly falling asleep in her chair until I was tucked up safely back in my bed. And do you know how I fell asleep? I fell asleep with her stroking my hair and singing me lullabies, and I have never in my life felt so safe or so warm.
Her Muslim neighbor stood up for her when she was attacked, taking the blows and protecting her from harm. The Muslim community in her town has been a pillar of support, providing coats, food, and toiletries to those in need.
In the town that I live in, it is the Muslim community that hand out coats to anyone who needs them, no questions asked. You walk in, you take a coat, you walk out, no question, no judgment. It is the same people that you can walk in and pick up a bag of food off the floor, no question, no judgment. They will not ask anything, they will not say anything. They will simply smile and offer you a warm meal. It is those same people that when I lived in the hostels, every Friday they would appear, fresh fruit. It's incredible quality, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, bottled water, soap, toiletries, clothes, anything you could think of, they provided it for us. And not once did it come with a Quran or an invitation to mosque. It came with kindness, compassion, dignity, love and warmth that some of us had never experienced.
Her experience shows us that we can change the way people perceive Islam. As Muslims, we have a responsibility to fight stereotypes that cause hate and fear. We can do this by continuing to show kindness, empathy, and compassion to those around us.
You know, it's kind of hurtful to think that this is the way that a lot of Muslims in this country are, and the way that we get perceived and treated is just so opposite to that. It's so hurtful to think that we have such a horrible public image when we're the ones that are doing our best to just follow our religion. Like, we're not doing it so that people think, oh, you deserve to be in society because you give to society. We're doing it because our religion commands us to. We are told to do it by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a goal in this life, and that's to get to Jannah. We do good deeds. And then this is how we get treated. SubhanAllah. But I mean, I'm not angry at all at the people like the EDL and that who do these kind of things, because they're just as much being manipulated by the system into being told that we're the problem, that the Muslims are taking over the churches and we're taking over the country and we're Islamifying, and to Islamify something means to kill non-Muslims and all this kind of stuff. You know, I would be scared if I thought that there were people that wanted to kill me, you know, like this is just the narrative that they're given. A lot of us are just victims to misinformation. SubhanAllah. What an amazing video. What an amazing woman, mashallah. I pray Allah gives her goodness in this life. I pray that Allah shows her the way towards the religion. Ameen. SubhanAllah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Assalamu alaikum.